About that.
Camp Blood. You're opening that place again?
Lots of luck.
Friday the 13th is one of the most popular and famous horror franchises of all time. But do you know what I never hear? Anyone putting this movie is one of their favorites in the franchise. Why is that? How could a movie that made so much money and birthed a giant in the slasher genre be in a way forgotten about for what it achieved? Before we get into it, let me know in the comments. Do you think this movie is overrated, underrated? How do you feel about it? In my opinion, the short answer is no Jason, no thank you mentality. I mean, when I was younger, I felt the same way. I watched this movie once and probably didn't watch it for another 15 years. I was young and dumb, and I was like, there's no Jason? I couldn't even fathom it. I grew up in a world where Jason Voorhees had already taken over our screens and entered our nightmares. But going back and watching the original Friday the 13th multiple times to do my retrospective, I have a newfound appreciation for this and actually think it's a very underrated masterpiece. So what do people say about the original? Well, they say the characters are very one-note and underdeveloped. The movie is slow and boring. It's not a very pretty movie to look at, and the ending reveal just doesn't work. So let's take a look at that first point. Characters are very one-note and underdeveloped. Well, I think these characters feel so authentic and real, it actually adds to the movie. I think if they were to develop these characters any more, it would just turn into a simple paint-by-number horror movie. It wouldn't feel so real or special. It's their innocence and not really understanding the threat that's about to hit them that makes this movie work so well. The second point is the movie is slow and boring. I disagree with it as boring at all. I thought the pace worked out perfectly for the story, and it builds toward the climax. As far as slow goes, I think people might feel this way because none of the characters really understand what's going to happen to them later. They're not aware of what's going on around them, so they aren't really reacting to anything. And as an audience, it maybe makes you think like, okay, there's nothing going on. But we as an audience are seeing what's going on, and the music by Harry Manfredini adds such a great sense of atmosphere and fear when the killer's around at any time. But to me, it doesn't make this movie feel slow at all. Next up, we have the complaint that it wasn't filmed great and overall is not a very pretty and kind of ugly movie to look at. And yes, this is a fair point, I give that to you. But let's look at it the way I look at it. I think it actually becomes a huge positive for this film. The camera isn't shaky cam, but it's not also a very good camera either, and this makes it feel very real. Like we are actually at the camp. And it makes the movie feel a little bit more unpolished like the movies we have now, which I just think adds to the 80s aesthetic. The lighting is pretty bad and almost becomes non-existent, and towards the end of the movie becomes really dark. This to me also adds to the movie, as it adds this realism that you just don't get in movies. You feel like you're really at the camp at nighttime. It helps build up the tension and makes you think, wow, that's a camp that looks like I went there. And let's face it, the whole Camp Crystal Lake, the water, the trees, the nature, I think it's beautiful and becomes the character upon itself for this movie. The final point always here is the ending reveal doesn't work. Okay, I hear you on this one, and yeah, it doesn't work. This movie doesn't play fair. It's supposed to be a whodunit, but they don't give us the ability to figure that out with any clues whatsoever and a character we don't see until the very end reveal. Shame on them. However, Betsy Palmer delivers us such a performance, so great as Mrs. Voorhees, I will overlook this. Her energy, her line delivery is so amazing, she steals the whole entire show, and I find myself not missing Jason in this movie at all actually. Not bad for an actress who once called the script shit. I'm not saying this is the greatest Friday the 13th movie ever made, and trust me, I do love me my Jason. But if you are one of those people who crap on this movie, or even haven't seen it in a while, you owe it to yourself to give this one another watch, and see why this movie made us jump in the first place. So thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments, do you love or hate this movie?